Layweather.
Here's Johnny!
Alright, so we are going to do The Shining today, which is going to be very, very interesting. I'm recording this in the morning because I'm a big old wuss, so I have plenty of daylight all around me so that I don't have to think about it being nighttime and me going to bed just a few hours after recording The Shining. That way my mind has time to fill in other stuff besides what I've done today, which is watch The Shining. That being said, I haven't watched a lot of horror movies in my life anyway, so this is going to be very, very interesting um, for you guys because when it comes to horror and stuff like that, I just haven't watched a lot of stuff. But like I said, I'm a big old wuss when it comes to watching this type of stuff. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to kind of just see my reaction to the film. At least I hope. um, there's a chance that this video might not even see the light of day on my channel, but just because I might not be able to edit it, and I might not even get through the entire film. I'll be surprised if I do. And one of the reasons why I want to do this film is because it's just so iconic. Like, here's Johnny. And because of Ready Player One, I know about the twins, but I have no idea what the twins are or anything like that. I know that there's a room 237, I think, which was also kind of revealed in Ready Player One, but I have no idea what's behind Ready Player One. And also, I'm going to date myself here, but I believe The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody did a episode about this room or what was going to be in that room or whatever way, way back in the day, about 20 years ago almost. So it's like I said, this movie's been a long time coming. I just kind of want to be in the know, and that's why we're doing this today. The Shining, that is, and while it's early morning, because again, third time's the charm. I'm a big old wuss. So we're doing this in the daylight. We're doing this early in the morning. That way, I have time to think about other things and not go to bed thinking about The Shining. But other than that, guys, join me for The Shining if this video actually does make it out to YouTube, if I can actually edit it. So let's just get right into The Shining. Here we go, guys. I've heard this before, thanks to Ready Player One. Like the aerial shot. Like that was following the yellow car. The wife in this, I forget her name, she recently passed away this July. She actually did fear for her safety because of, I believe it's Jack Nicholson's performance. A Stanley Kubrick film. Jack Nicholson. Shelley Duvall, yep, that's the name. The Shining. I like how they're doing the credits, I really do. Don't see that a whole lot. I like how the car went into the tunnel and back out. Music just turned really eerie right there. Also, I think, I could be wrong about this, but I think that they actually did, for the Danny, or the kid actor, his name's Danny in this as the character, but they did try to protect him from the most scary parts of the film. Needless to say, I've heard a lot of things from interviews and just pop culture about this film. That's how I know so much about the film already, but I haven't seen it yet. The interview.
Mr. Ullman?
Yes?
I'm Jack Torrance.
Oh, well, come on in, Jack. Have any trouble finding us?
Oh, no problem at all. I made the trip in 3.5 hours.
Well, that's a very good time. Would you ask Bill Watson to join us?
Yes, I will.
Why is Bill important?
Mom,
Yeah?
do you really want to go and live in that hotel for the winter?
Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner in the background.
I guess so.
What about Tony?
Mr. Torch.
Let's just wait and see. We're all gonna have a real good time.
Which means we won't, especially you.
Jack is going to take care of the overlook for us this winter.
I'm a writer. Teaching's been more or less a way of making ends meet.
For what? If he's a writer, then what is he doing here?
Our season here runs from May 15th to October 30th. Then we close down completely until the following May. Problem is the enormous cost it would be to keep the road to Sidewinder open. 25-mile stretch of road. Gets an average of 20 feet of snow during the winter, and there's no way to make it economically feasible to keep it clear. This site was chosen for its seclusion and scenic beauty.
I like the that they're laying out the kind of the logistics around the hotel.
This consists mainly of running the boiler, heating different parts of the hotel on a daily rotating basis, repairing damage as it occurs, and doing repairs so that the elements can't get a foothold.
I'm outlining a new writing project, and 5 months of peace is just what I want.
To some people, solitude and isolation can of itself become a problem.
Very, very true. Kind of saw that with the pandemic a little bit.
I don't want to sound melodramatic, but it's something that's been known to give a few people second thoughts about the job.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I am too, a little bit actually.
Hired a man named Charles Grady as the winter caretaker. And he came up here with his wife and 2 little girls. At some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. Killed his family with an axe. Then he put both barrels of a shotgun in his mouth. Police, I thought that it was what the old-timers used to call cabin fever.
So this has happened before, basically, and just wanted to give him a heads up.
Concerned, I'm sure she'll be absolutely fascinated when I tell her about it. She's a confirmed ghost story and horror film addict.
That's interesting.
Tony, why don't you want to go to the hotel?
Oh yeah, the blood elevator scene. 2 was in Ready Player One. I forgot to mention that. But I wonder if Danny has possibly schizophrenia.
Talking to Tony, he's a little bit lives in my mouth.
Does Tony ever tell you to do things?
Yes.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. I'm quite sure there's nothing physically wrong with Danny.
What about mentally?
What was the matter with him?
Mrs. Torrance, most of the time these episodes with kids are never explained. They're more akin to auto-hypnosis, a kind of self-induced trance.
The only thing that I could kind of relate that to is like possibly daydreaming or just kind of zoning out for like a minute or two and just think about, nothing at all.
And then he had an injury, so we kept him out for a while. And yeah, I guess that's about the time when I first noticed that he was talking to Tony.
I wonder Tony,
What sort of injury did he have?
caused the injury
He dislocated his shoulder.
How did he manage to do that?
in so many ways.
My husband had been drinking. Danny had scattered some of his school papers all over the room, and my husband grabbed his arm, to pull him away from him. This particular occasion, my husband just used too much strength, and he injured Danny's arm. I'm never going to touch another drop. And if I do, you can leave me. He hasn't had any alcohol in 5 months.
Closing day.
We must really be high up. The air feels so different.
Altitude.
Wasn't it around here that the Donner Party got snowbound?
I think that was farther west in the Sierras.
That I'm not sure of because
What
I'm
was
not
the
sure where
Dolly
this
Party?
takes. Oh, something you don't want to know about.
Party of settlers in covered wagon times. They got snowbound one winter in the mountains. They had to resort to cannibalism in order to stay alive.
Yep.
You mean they ate each other up?
They had to, in order to survive.
For some members to survive.
I know all about cannibalism. I saw it on TV.
See? It's okay. You saw it on the television.
I like the way you delivered that line. You saw it on the television. I don't like this. Getting some eerie sounds. Wonder if they ever say hello, Danny.
Place is very nicely self-contained, easy to keep.
Cozy.
This is our famous hedge maze. It's quite an attraction around here. The walls are 13 feet high, and the hedge is about as old as the hotel itself.
I like what they're doing. They're showing us all the different locations that later the film is going to take place in.
When was the Overlook built?
Construction started in 1907. It was finished in 1909. The site is supposed to be located on an Indian burial ground, and I believe they actually had to repel a few Indian attacks as they were building it. Snowcat operates very much like a car, and it won't take you long to get the hang of it.
So it was built on an Indian burial ground.
This is our gold ballroom. We always remove all the booze from the premises when we shut down. That reduces the insurance we normally have to carry. This is Dick Halloran, our head chef.
Mr. Halloran, I'm Jack.
Nice to meet
This
you,
is
Jack.
my wife, Winifred.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you.
I found him outside looking for you.
God, this is the kitchen, huh?
Yeah, this is it. How do you like it, Danny? Is it big enough for you?
Yeah.
This whole place is such an enormous maze. I feel like I'll have to leave a trail of breadcrumbs every time I come in.
Yep.
Now, this is where we keep all of our meat.
I wonder how this is going to play in with the freezer though.
You like lamb, Doc?
No.
I don't think I've tried lamb, but it is pretty good, I think.
How'd you know we call him Doc?
Looks like a doc, doesn't he? Yeah. What's up, Doc? In here, Mrs. Torrance, is where we keep all the dry goods.
That's kind of interesting and kind of weird because that's the first time that they ever mentioned Doc, whether that be first time ever they called him Doc basically in the film, I think.
How'd you like some ice cream, Doc?
By 5 o'clock tonight, you'll never know anybody was ever here.
Do you know how I knew your name was Doc?
Nope. Shrugs.
My grandmother and I could hold conversations entirely without ever opening our mouths. We called it shiny. All other folks, though mostly they don't know it or don't believe it.
I would go with just don't know instead of don't believe it, but
Why don't you want to talk about it?
because it's new and scary to him, I would
I'm
imagine.
not supposed to.
Who says you ain't supposed to?
Tony,
Tony.
One of the ones that tells you things?
by using this shining.
And he shows me things. But when I wake up, I can't remember everything.
You can only remember some things.
You know, some places are like people. Some shine and some don't.
I don't know what he means by that. I don't think.
One burns toast. Well, maybe things that happen leave other kind of traces behind. Not things that anyone can notice, but things that people who shine can see.
I kind of understand it, but I kind of don't.
Things that haven't happened yet. Sometimes they can see things that happened a long time ago, and not all of them was good.
What about room 237?
How does he know about that? Or maybe I should rephrase that, but that's the first time we've ever heard about room 237.
There ain't nothing in room 237.
Oh, I really like that. I really like the sound design. Like that when we go over wood, we actually get the sound, and then when we go over carpet, it's muffled.
I made them just the way you like them, sunny side up.
Nice.
I really like that we're just shooting the mirror and that's it.
When we first came up here, I thought it was kind of scary.
I fell in love with it right away.
Look out! I'm coming in close.
All right. You have to keep American, please.
The maze.
Give me a hand. Oh, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
I never really get the point of mazes. Especially ones like this. I know you're supposed to find something, but what are you supposed to find in them?
Ten heads.
Oh, God. Made it. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Took me a minute to realize what was going on, but that is so cool.
I didn't think it's gonna be this big, did you?
No.
Scary Tuesday, Mike. Scary Tuesday.
Snowstorm moves in tomorrow.
Gotta say, I really like these shots on his tricycle and just the overall sound design. Yep, that's what I thought he was looking at. Had to take my head, sit down for that part. But I believe now that room 237 has something to do with the twins.
How's it going? Weather forecast said it's gonna snow tonight.
What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, it was just kind of factual. It wasn't like a question.
Whenever you come in here and interrupt me, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me. And it will then take me time to get back to where I was. We're gonna make a new rule. Whenever I'm in here, you hear me typing. In here, that means that I am working. That means don't come in. How do you think you can handle that?
Wow, you didn't have to be so mean about it. I understand, but kind of uncalled for. What's wrong with him? Could be cabin fever. It's becoming unhinged.
Telephones don't seem to be doing too well. Are the lines down by any chance?
Yes, quite a few of them are down due to the storm. Most winters, they stay that way until spring. Well, if you folks have any problems up there, just give us a call.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Give us a call.
Hello, Danny. Come and play with us.
In room 237?
Forever. And ever. And ever. It's just like pictures in a book, Danny. It isn't real. Can I go to my room and get my fire engine?
Make sure you come right back, because I'm gonna make lunch soon.
Why does he need his fire engine? Right now. It's been a few days, though. We haven't seen him since Saturday, I believe, so it's been like 2 days.
Come here for a minute first.
Something's really happened to, I want to say Jack.
Do you feel bad?
About what?
No, just a little bit tired.
Why don't you go to sleep?
Too much to do.
Too much to write or too much to do anything with?
You like this hotel?
Would you?
I guess so.
I guess so, which means no in kid language.
You would never hurt Mommy or me, would you?
What do you mean?
The typical response would be no.
Did your mother ever say that to you? Never do anything to hurt you. Never. You know that, don't you?
I really don't like the look on his face. Man, the days of the week are what's making me jump. Ah, there's winds again. I do like this rug pattern though. I really like these shots and angles and stuff. Apollo 2, USA. Is that the room I think it is? Yes, it is.
Mom, are you in there?
No. I do like this POV shot, though. Subtitles gave away that Jackie's screaming.
Okay, it's okay now. Really.
I don't think it is, but okay.
I dreamed that I killed you and Danny. Cut you up in little pieces.
Possibly foreshadowing.
Danny,
I don't like
everything's
that.
okay.
It's a very good shot, but I just don't like the...
Danny, look what I say. Go.
This is very ominous. There's this shot, I just don't like it. Something's wrong.
Oh my God. Danny, what happened to your neck? Danny, what happened to your neck? You did this to him.
How would he do this to him?
How could you? How could you?
Really don't like all the music going on right now, because it just makes it more horrifying.
Anything for a drink. Get my goddamn soul.
With that in mind, is he gonna start drinking now? Because that'd be something.
A little slow tonight, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Mr. Torrance.
Wait a minute, I thought there was only gonna be 3 of them. Father, the mother, and the kid.
You slipped me a bottle of bourbon, a little glass, and some ice. You set 'em up and I'll knock 'em back, Lloyd. One by one. Here's to 5 miserable months on the wagon.
I think he's a little bit
Harm that it's caused me.
lost it. I do believe a little bit lost it.
Just a little problem with the old sperm bank upstairs. Nothing I can't handle, though, Lloyd.
Women can't live with them, can't live without them.
Words of wisdom, Lloyd. Words of wisdom.
And he's gonna test that theory.
I love the little son of a bitch. I'd do anything for him. As long as I live, she'll never let me forget what happened.
But here's the thing, you don't know if you actually did it or not because you were kind of unconscious when you came to.
Thrown all my papers all over the floor. All I tried to do was pull them up.
Oh yeah, that's right, he did do that.
There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms. She tried to strangle Danny.
Which room was it?
237?
Airports are shut down, stranding thousands of passengers. Highways are blocked by snowdrifts. Railroad tracks are frozen. Officials in Colorado tell Newswatch at least 3 people have been killed by exposure to freezing wind. Walter Cronice will have the local...
Is he actually at the hotel? Sorry guys, that screeching gets pretty loud for the headset. And I can still hear it through the headphones even when I've got even when I have the headset down on my shoulders. Now, this is the scene I remember from Ready Player 1. This exact setup. Now she starts to fall apart. The music also, well, music and sound like a heartbeat. So now I know what's in room 237.
Did you find anything?
No, nothing at all.
And he just lied to his wife. No, but I would be fearful for her life.
Are you sure it was the right room?
The door was open, the lights were on.
What about those bruises on his neck? Somebody did that to him.
You could say that it was her, for all intents and purposes.
I think he did it to himself.
She doesn't believe it, but it might be a possibility given Tony.
There is no other explanation, is there? It wouldn't be that different from the episode that he had before we came up here, would it?
Whatever the explanation is, I think we have to get Danny out of here.
You mean just leave the hotel?
He doesn't like that answer.
But I am not gonna let you fuck this up.
Something's really wrong with Jack, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is. Again, it could be cabin fever, but I seriously doubt it because it almost started immediately.
I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there, but the operator said that the phone lines are down.
Yeah, I'm afraid a lot of lines around here are down due to the storm.
I'd sure appreciate it if you'd give him a call on your radio just to see if everything's okay.
I'll be glad to do that, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Torrance.
Good evening.
I'm confused. This has to be in his mind or something, because there should not be people here.
What would be, sir?
Hair of the dog that bit me.
Bourbon on the rocks.
That'll do her.
No charge to you, Mr. Torrance.
Why? Again, I'm going with this is in his mind.
I'm the kind of man likes to know who's buying their drinks, Lloyd.
It's not a matter that concerns you, Mr. Torrance. At least not at this point.
Set my bourbon and advocate down right there. What do they call you around here, Jeevesy?
Grady, sir. Delbert Grady.
Wasn't there a character named Grady in the beginning of this film? I believe there was.
Weren't you once the caretaker here?
Why, no, sir. I don't believe so.
You don't believe so? Wouldn't you actually know?
Married man, are you, Mr. Grady?
Yes, sir. I have a wife and 2 daughters, sir.
You, chopped your wife and daughter up into little bits, and you blew your brains out.
I knew the name sounded familiar. It all makes sense now, so this is not a real...
I don't have any recollection of that at all. But your son is attempting to bring an outside party into this situation.
Tony or the twins?
Cook.
Okay, so we're talking about the other guy. I forget his name, even though they said it twice.
Your son has a very great talent. I don't think you are aware how great it is against your will.
True, but I don't know if it's against his will or not.
He is a very willful boy.
That's kind of creepy.
Naughty boy, if I may be so bold, sir.
Naughty boy. Sorry.
My girls, sir, they didn't care for the Overlook at first. Actually stole a pack of matches and tried to burn it down, but I corrected them, sir. And when my wife tried to prevent me from doing my duty, I corrected her.
Yeah, I believe that's all in his head, that entire conversation.
Red Rum!
Danny, what's the matter, hon?
Red Rum!
You having a bad dream?
Danny's not here, Mrs. Torrance. Danny's gone away, Mrs. Torrance.
This honestly reminds me of Willem Dafoe's performance with the Green Goblin and kind of the inner voice in his head and stuff like that. Just a little bit.
KDK-1, colon KDK-12.
I'm gonna say that he's gonna smash it.
KDK-1, colon KDK-12. Are you receiving? We tried to contact them several times by radio, but they didn't answer. Now, maybe they got their radio turned off or they're in a place where they can't hear it.
What time will we get to Denver?
We're due to arrive at 8:20, sir.
Thank you very much.
The snowplows are keeping things moving in town, but the mountain roads are completely blocked.
That means I'm gonna need a snowcat to get up there, Larry. Can you fix me up with one? We got a very serious problem with the people who are taking care of the place. They turned out to be completely unreliable assholes.
That's funny though. They turned out to be completely reliable assholes. I think people have ripped that line from this movie. I think completely unreliable assholes. I would actually be scared to be next to Danny right now.
I'm just gonna go and talk to Daddy for a few minutes.
Yes, Mrs. Torrance.
She took the bat with her. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I've heard that line so many times through pop culture and stuff, but it's kind of interesting that it's all he wrote too. What's going on in Jack's head? We kind of know what's going on in Danny's head, but what's going on in Jack's head? Is that Jack or Henderson?
How do you like it? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, you wanted to talk about Danny.
Maybe it was about Danny.
That was creepy and cool.
I think we should discuss what should be done with him. I think you have some very definite ideas about what should be done with Danny, and I'd like to know what they are.
Really, I like that. That was good.
Maybe he should be taken to a doctor.
When do you think maybe he should be taken to a doctor?
As soon as possible. As soon as possible.
Man, I wish I could play this entire conversation. He's giving a really good
And are you
performance.
concerned about me?
Of course I am.
Have you ever thought for a single solitary moment about my responsibilities to my employers? Has it ever occurred to you that I have agreed to look after the Overlook Hotel until May the 1st?
May the 1st? I thought it was going to be like April. For
what a moral and ethical principle is, do you?
I just want to go back to my room. I just need a chance to think things over.
You've had your whole fucking life to think things over. What good's a few minutes more gonna do you now? I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in.
wow, this is really a good performance from both of them, actually.
Ready? Give me the bag. Ah, goddamn!
I like the end there. How he changed pitch and all that. Pitch, tone, stuff like that. Billy, you're gonna put him in the freezer? I think that's where she's going with him. Gotta do something. Oh no, the pantry.
What are you doing?
I wonder when the bathroom scene's gonna come in.
Let me out of here and I'll forget the whole goddamn thing. It'll be just like nothing ever happened.
I don't think so.
I think you hurt my head real bad. I'm dizzy. I need a doctor.
Sorry, but that just made me smile inside for some reason.
I'm gonna try to get Danny down to Sidewinder and the Snowcat today.
I wouldn't have told him that.
You got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere. Go check out the Snowcat in the radio and you'll see what I mean.
What did he do to the Snowcat? I know what he did to the radio, but what did he do to the Snowcat?
Go check it out.
Kind of glad she's checking the snowcat first versus the radio, because we already know about the radio. So that took 8 hours, all of that, because we started at 8 a.m. and now we're at 4 p.m.
Delbert Grady.
He's still not back. He's just still in his head.
I see you can hardly have taken care of the business we discussed. Your wife appears to be stronger than we imagined, Mr. Torrance. Somewhat more resourceful.
The moment, Mr. Grady. Only for the moment.
Oh, that's right. They're gonna have a second snowcat, so maybe that's how she can escape. But also, Jackie's going to possibly sabotage that one too. So there's hope, but there is a little bit of hope, but there's also just kind of possibly not hope, depending on how this goes. So I take it to understand that the elevator scene is actually red rum instead of blood, even from pop culture. And I think it was actually Ready Player One that mentioned that it's red rum and not actually blood or something. This is disturbing. I don't think Danny kills himself, but it might be the case. Backwards is D.
Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Woo! Red
Here's where I believe that scene begins. Why didn't he just open the door? Unless she locked it.
Wendy, I'm home.
The hole isn't big enough.
I can't get out! Run! Quick!
Here's Johnny.
Wow, I can't believe that she actually did that. Going back to what I said at the beginning, she was actually scared for her life. At least that's what she said in interviews and stuff like that. From what I heard. So wait a minute, is she dead? No, she's not dead. Why would he leave and not kill her and then just go after Danny? For some reason that didn't make me scared at all, or make me jump at all.
Danny! Danny boy?
Danny boy.
Danny! Hey!
What the? That made me jump when they zoomed in. When it was her way, it was alright, but when they did a quick zoom in like that, made me jump a little bit.
Danny! Danny!
I'm surprised Danny's kind of running from him. even though Danny is kind of possessed himself. There's one shot in here where I think Danny and Jack are possessed by the same being or same monster, kind of, or basically possessed both by Tony. I do like this maze scene in the way that it's captured too.
I'm coming down!
I like the camera work as we went around the corner kind of with her, sort of.
Great party, isn't it?
If she pushes the button and the red rum starts to flow, that's another reference there. So not only once, but twice. And he's just on the other side of that thing. Or maybe not, actually. It was just a cool way to transition to Jack. I would have to imagine that Danny's in control, and Tony is not. So what happens now that they've got away, I do believe? He died. Alright, so, The Shining. Somebody's gonna have to explain that ending to me. I'll tell you what my interpretation is, or kind of where I go with it. So the film takes place around late 70s, early 80s, give or take, because we know at least it's past the 70 because of what happened to Grady, and that's, and that's that. So, and then we have this picture on the wall of like the former staff members, but at the end of it, he's actually part of the photo, but at the bottom it says the Overlook Hotel, 1921. So what does that mean exactly? Of course he's trapped in the photo, kind of, but what does it mean to be? Does that mean that he is either transported to that time, or is he just now a part of it, or was it actually set in the 20s? I don't think so. I really don't think so, just given the technology. But I'm a little bit confused on how the movie actually ended, to say the very least. And I'm a little bit confused on the whole, whether it was hallucinations or if it was something else. Basically, my theory right now is that some of it's in his head and some of it's not in his head, but there are ghosts in this, and they look like real people. Instead of, just a silhouette outline, and they can actually physically touch stuff like objects and people. It's always real hard to understand the rules of ghosts because it changes so much. Kind of like with the vampires and Dracula, but those rules are very much easier to understand. Here, ghosts are very hard to understand about what rules apply and what rules don't apply. So it's just very weird to say that, or not very weird to say, but just very odd to know the rules of Ghost in a movie just because it changes a lot based on the movie and what the movie needs and what the people making the movie want the ghost to do. And I think part of it is due to the fact that ghosts have been around so long in history, but also just film history, that there wasn't really a good way to, at the time, say whether or not this was, capture whether or not the people, actually turn the people into ghosts, like the ones that we see in like Ghostbusters, for example. It was just easier to have them be, humans and stuff. We didn't have the special effects that we do today, so I'm just a little bit curious about that. So the other thing I want to point out real quick is the Shining, basically the superpower between the Halloran and Danny. To me, it kind of reads like telekinesis, but also not, because they don't move objects with their mind, but they are able to talk to one another. It's kind of like twins, for example. Twins, it's been reported to have some type of special connection. Like the other one, if one feels pain, the other one feels pain. If the other one feels like super excited, super happy, then the other one does. At least that's what I've heard from like research and stuff about twins, is they really do have a connection with each other for some reason. I'm still kind of iffy on why that is, but at least from actual research that we have, that is the case. So with that, it's kind of interesting that they have this connection, and Halloran is able to try and come help Danny, but he ends up getting killed for it. So I guess what I'm saying is I would kind of like to know more about how this power works, even though we don't really need it. Just because it's more interesting that way. Talking about Danny and the twins now, that was kind of interesting, but it also made sense just because of their, closeness in age and stuff like that. But also, I came to the conclusion, or the thought that possibly the ghost in the bathtub scene is actually Grady's wife. Her name is never stated, I don't think. So I think that might be Grady's wife. I could be completely wrong, but it's what I have to work with, and that's what I put together for now. In my head, as far as that goes. I'm still trying to figure out what actually caused him to go kind of mad or kind of crazy, insane. My guess is cabin fever, but it could be a number of things. and I'm still trying to determine whether he was actually drinking or not drinking, given that the ghost kind of handed him the alcohol, but yet we're told that there's no alcohol on the premises while they're closed. So, is it just cabin fever, or did he actually get something to drink? Because my thought process is cabin fever plus alcohol, but we're told there's no alcohol. So how did he? So is it imaginary that he's drinking, or basically how does somebody become that crazy or that insane or that stuff? Because this movie takes place like a month or 2 months after they get there. So they're fine for the first month, and then stuff starts happening after a month, and we get to see that, to say the very least. Wow, sorry guys, I shouldn't be doing this while I have the hiccups. Anyway, so that's kind of, so I'm just kind of curious about that. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is the acting for the three main actors in this. I really like their performances. I like, of course, Jack Nicholson's character. He is actually, I really like his performance. I could watch it over and over and over again. I really think that they really had some good performances. I even think Danny had a good performance in this. I don't know his last name in real life, I'm sorry, but I really liked his performance as a kid. I really liked his facial expressions, and I even pointed that out. I really love Shelley Duvall. Performance in this. Her reactions do seem genuine, and she does seem to be actually scared for her life. Now, I know that she had, complained about Stanley Kubrick and Jack Nicholson, and she said that she was actually in fear for her life, but at the same time, she did also give us one of her best performances. Now, this is the first time I've ever seen her in something, but it was a very good performance nonetheless. I really like the sound design in this and the camera work in this. I mean, everything just felt like the camera was another character. From the way it was cut and put together, from the sound design to the editing to basically everything. I really like how this film is put together, and it would not surprise me if this film might have won Best Picture for 1980. I'm not sure if it did or not. I'd have to actually look that up, but I'd be surprised if it did not win Best Picture. There's plenty more to talk about. There's one scene in particular that I want to point out real quick, which is kind of this lion in the van. I don't know what that's supposed to represent. I don't know why. Wendy saw that as part of that when she was seeing all the ghosts, which brings into question, she can see the ghosts, but why can't she see the ghost? How does, and that's the part I was saying earlier that kind of confused me, is this hallucination or is it real? If other people can see it, because if I can see it and you can see it, does not make it reality. But that's another topic entirely. If you and I can see something versus, or if you and I can see something, does that make it reality? And that's just another, that's basically another topic in itself. But I would have to go scene by scene to really dissect more out of this, to get a, to better understand the film and to catch everything. This film to me is more psychological horror than it is anything else. It's more than like slasher horror or paranormal horror or anything like that. And for me, my imagination was basically my own worst enemy in not seeing this film sooner, because I thought it was more paranormal horror and stuff like that. And it's actually more psychological. And there's plenty more we could talk about, but I think that's going to do it for me, guys. If there's anything that I did not cover that you wanted my opinion on, or I didn't go into enough detail about, do drop a comment down below, and I will do my best to try and give you some more details on my thoughts about that specific part that you asked. But until then, guys, do remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you, guys.